So I thought it would be fun to do a quick roundup of some interesting things happening in the tabletop RPG world. So let's do that. Welcome to Polyhedron. I'm Ron. We're going to go over some interesting things happening on Kickstarter, some news from, generally the TTRPG world, some VTT news, other stuff. It's going to be great. Let's get to it. Okay, so first up, and maybe the highest profile piece of news, is that the new adventure module for D&D 5th edition was announced this week, and it's called Icewind Dale: Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's a horror story set in the snowy wilderness of Icewind Dale, and it will have your characters not just battling villains, but also the cold and unforgiving night around them in tales of dark horror, something like, The Thing meets Frozen, I guess. They released a bunch of videos talking about the new adventure, and I'll link all of it in the description down below. There's a blog post that has all the information. Rime of the Frost Maiden will be released in hardcover pretty soon, but you can already pre-order it today on D&D Beyond. And if you do that, you get some cool stuff like digital dice and backdrops for your D&D Beyond character sheets, like mostly cosmetic stuff. Personally, I'm going to wait to learn a bit more about this one before I go ahead and buy it. And I also have so many other adventure modules to play through first. So I'm not going to get this right away, but this does look, extremely cool. Okay, so on the Kickstarter front, 3 Kickstarter campaigns that are ending pretty soon that you might want to check out, starting with one from Sly Flourish, the same guys who put together the Lazy DM's workbook and Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, both fantastic resources which are every bit as useful as the official Dungeon Master guide for D&D 5th edition. Their latest Kickstarter campaign is called Fantastic Layers, and essentially it's a book of boss battles and endgame encounters, which is a really cool concept. It's not an adventure, but it's this big list of fleshed out encounters and characters that you can use either in an ongoing game or just to build a whole game around. Each one of these encounters has a detailed map and descriptions for all the monsters, the lair or dungeon that they take place in, and of course, the big bad evil bosses that you can use. What I like about Sly Flourish is that they use a super straightforward writing style when they put this stuff together, and they're not trying to, impress you with amazing prose. They're just trying to make your game better. These are all folks who have worked on official D&D stuff, and it just feels like they know how to be effective when they put this kind of stuff together. So if you're looking for some crazy multi-layer encounters and bosses that you can just drop into your campaign or just build your game around, this is a pretty good deal, because for $15 you get the PDF book and all the VTT ready maps and artwork, which by itself I think can be incredibly useful. So I'm definitely getting it, because I'm guessing the price will go up once the Kickstarter is over. And as of making this video, the Kickstarter has 13 more days to go, and they've blown way past their 15K goal. Next up on Kickstarter is Alice is Missing, a new and original tabletop RPG that is played silently and completely through text messages. Alice is Missing is about the disappearance of a girl named Alice Briarwood, a high school junior in the small town called Silent Falls. The game itself is played completely through a group text on your phone and also direct messages between all the people in the group, and the other people obviously don't know about the direct messages that you might be sending. In the Kickstarter itself, they say that Alice is Missing puts a strong focus on the emotional engagement between players, immersing them in a tense, dramatic mystery that unfolds organically through the text messages they send to one another. If you back this one with $20 or more, you can get either the physical book, but you have to pay for shipping, or a Roll20 edition and the PDF, which I think is better value, honestly. And it's cool that it will be VTT supported right at launch. This game is supposed to be in the vein of video games like Life is Strange or Gone Home, Personally, I'm probably not going to be getting this one, at least not right now. I do love the innovative idea here and the creativity behind it. I just don't want to spend 90 minutes or so sitting next to my friends while everybody stares at their phone, because I kind of, play tabletop RPGs to avoid that. But I do get how tense and engaging a game like this could potentially be, and I do think that it could be amazing to play this on something like Roll20 with people that you've never actually met. So maybe I'll try that at some point. Alice is Missing is currently at 11 days to go as of making this video. And again, they've blown way past their target. And lastly, on the Kickstarter front, we have a massive expansion pack for Cult, with a K, Divinity Lost. Cult is a game that originally launched in 1991 when I was 3 years old, and in 2018 it was updated and relaunched in a crazy successful Kickstarter campaign. Cult is a dark, mature horror game. I haven't played it myself yet, but it looks amazing. Honestly, just the artwork alone is enough to get me interested. It is metal. In their own words, in Cult, Divinity Lost, the world around us is a lie. Mankind is trapped in an illusion. We do not see the great citadels of Metropolis towering over our highest skyscrapers. We do not hear the screams from the cellar where hidden stairs take us to Inferno. We do not smell the blood and burnt flesh from those sacrificed to long-forgotten gods. But some of us see glimpses from beyond the veil. So with the Kickstarter campaign, they're introducing 2 new books, a map set, and a weapon deck. The books are called Beyond Darkness and Madness and Screams and Whispers. Beyond Darkness is a book that helps game masters create scenarios, locations, and characters, and generally helps them build, the creepy horror vibe that this game requires. While Screams and Whispers is a collection of 6 new scenarios for your players to play through and, be terrified through. And they're supposed to be designed in a way that you can run them with minimum preparations. Labyrinths and Secret Chambers, which took me a few times to say right, is the map set, and the weapon deck has 55 reference cards for weapons and gears that your players can use throughout the game. This looks honestly amazing. You do have to back this at about $40 if you want to get all the PDFs, which I get because it's a lot of stuff and a lot of value, but still it's pretty steep for Kickstarter. The only reason I'm not backing this one is because I haven't played the core game, but I definitely plan to. This one has about 2 weeks to go as of making this video, and like the others, they have blown past their goal by a lot. Okay, moving on. Paizo, the company that makes Pathfinder and Starfinder, is about a month away from launching their new pre-painted plastic miniatures for Starfinder. These are going to be part of WizKids Games' Starfinder Battles line. WizKids Games is a company that makes all kinds of board games and minis and other game accessories, and they actually have some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, Paizo has unveiled the new Starfinder minis on their website, so you can look at them with your eyes, and you have links to that down below. So if you're a Starfinder fan, this is pretty cool. Personally, I'm not, but yeah, check it out. And Chaosium, there's no way I'm saying it right, but the company that makes the Call of Cthulhu RPG has announced a new 2-volume hardcover bestiary called Malice Monstrorum. Hope I'm saying that one right. It's for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. The PDF is available now, but the hardcover only ships in October. And the cool thing is that if you buy the PDF now, you actually get a discount on the hardcover when it comes out. So they're trying to offset the purchase if you can't wait to get it, which is cool of them. Volume 1 is called Monsters of the Mythos, and it features over 150 entries about monsters from the Cthulhu mythos, some brand new ones and some just updated to fit 7th edition of the game. And it's not just stat blocks, it looks like it's lore and history and ideas on how to terrify your players with these monsters. Pretty awesome stuff. Volume 2 is called Deities of the Mythos, and as the name suggests, it deals with gods. It has about 100 entries about the elder gods, the great old ones, avatars, and other unique beings in the mythos. It sounds pretty awesome to me, and it features amazing art as always. This game has fantastic art, so Cthulhu fans rejoice. And remember, while humanity may crave both comfort and truth, only one or the other is possible. Moving on to some pretty exciting VTT news, Roll20 has announced Burn Bright, the first ever tabletop RPG to be built exclusively for Roll20. So this game was designed and built over the past 3 years, specifically to be played on Roll20. Burn Bright is a fantasy sci-fi game, and the lead designer for it is actually James Introcaso, which is also one of the guys who worked on the Sly Flourish Fantastic Layers book that I mentioned earlier. And according to him, in Burn Bright, the players build heroic characters who live together on a spaceship in the Olaxis galaxy, a place of tenacious creatures and magic-powered tech. Its ancient celestial bodies are dotted with bygone, mysterious ruins and highly advanced modern settlements. Olaxis is the last galaxy in the universe. A bright orange existence-consuming phenomenon, dubbed the Burn, surrounds and slowly closes in on the Olaxis galaxy, wiping out entire solar systems as it makes its slow, inevitable advance. So you have a variety of characters to choose from and a lot of stories to explore, from fighting space pirates to saving people from doomed planets, or even trying to stop the burn itself. Burn Bright will be available on the Roll20 marketplace on July 7th. This all sounds very cool. I'm sure it's going to be a great game. It has some great people attached to it. I'm probably going to need some time to personally warm up to the idea of a VTT specific exclusive game. My knee-jerk reaction to this is that it feels too much like the video game industry, and there's just something beautiful about how you can play most tabletop RPGs with nothing but, a few pieces of paper and some dice. And the rest of it is just a great bonus, all the cool stuff you can do with VTTs. But with the amazing growth that the VTT space is seeing, I think that this was inevitable, and I'll come around to it. But if they do keep it exclusive to the level of not even releasing the option to just buy a PDF of the core rules, like if there's no way to play this outside of Roll20, that might be a little weird and off-putting. In any case, I'm excited to see how this goes, and it's available for pre-order now. Foundry VTT also has a couple of cool updates. One is the release of Clash at Cobalt Cauldron, which is a game-ready D&D 5th edition adventure for Foundry VTT. This is a collaboration between a bunch of super talented creators. The journal entries guiding you on how to run this adventures were written by DM Dave, and you have custom token art by Paperforge and even original music by Music D20. These are about 6 major contributors to the world of D&D specifically, and just RPGs in general. The adventure itself is designed for 10th level characters, and it can be run across probably anywhere between like 2 or 4 game sessions, but you could pretty easily just drop this into an existing campaign, or just use it as a mega one-shot or something that you can just knock out in a few sessions. What I like about things like this is that you could also just use all the pre-generated maps and tokens and all the assets that you get out of something like this and just, do your own thing. You can get the adventure right now if you back any of these creators that are involved with this on Patreon, and you can find all the info for that below. And on July 3rd, the adventure will be made available to all Foundry VTT owners. They don't specify if it will be available for sale or just, freely for everybody. So personally, I'm backing Foundry on Patreon, so I did get this adventure and I looked through it and it just looks incredible. And even if you don't want to use the adventure as is, like I said earlier, you can just use all these maps and tokens that are all set up perfectly and beautifully in Foundry. So it's really cool to see this kind of collaboration happening. And again, I think it was inevitable that we'll start seeing exclusive content for VTTs, even though this one isn't a full game, but an adventure for an existing system. The second piece of Foundry news is that they've announced an integration with World Anvil. World Anvil is a pretty cool world building and content management system, and generally just a way for you to organize all the details and lore of your campaign or book or world that you're building. So now you can import stuff directly into Foundry from World Anvil. Atropos, the guy behind Foundry VTT, made a quick video showing how the integration works and what you can do with it. So I'll link that down below along with everything else. Okay, and that's it for today. That was a lot of news. It felt like a lot of news. If you like talking about this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you like this type of video, and I'll make more, and just, let's talk about tabletop RPGs. Go play one.